Welcome to another Kobe Bryant Film Room, another episode of me, Kobe Bryant Film Room versus the media flunkies. Let's hear about it.
Player. That was Kobe Bryant. We keep forgetting that.
Kobe
Nine
Bryant's
times.
not in Kawhi's class
90 times. Excuse me. You can say whatever you want.
He's not in Kawhi's class defensively, but yet Kobe has 12 all-time, 12 defensive first team defensive awards, right? And so he's got 9 first team tied with Michael Jordan.
The game is different in this day and age. The game is different in this day and age. You can take all of that into consideration. Kobe Bryant was an elite defender in his prime. Now, he was a killer, and when he sensed blood, he took you out before there was a closing moment to take into consideration. When you see Kawhi Leonard against Philadelphia, when you see Kawhi...
No, it wasn't Shaq doing that. It actually wasn't. If you go back and watch the Western Conference Finals of those the 2000s, you'll clearly see that Kobe was the main factor leading up to the 2000 the Western Conference championships during that time.
When you saw Kobe Bryant on the floor, you were scared to death.
Now this is a player, right? He played against Kobe, so he had firsthand experience on the fear factor, right? And so he's right here. He's telling Max Kellerman, look, people feared this man, right? It wasn't just all about Shaq. They were afraid of Kobe too.
I'd rather be Kobe, but Tim Duncan, I got to admit, you look at it objectively, I think he was better. Number 8, I got Kobe.
So you see what they do? You see what they do, right? Now, Chris Broussard purposely put Kobe right by Duncan, right? Because they want to move him further and further away from that conversation where they have to justify not having him up there with LeBron and Jordan, right? So what they do is they throw Tim Duncan in there to justify putting Kobe around that area, right? Where it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Kobe wasn't that efficient of a scorer. LeBron's a far more efficient scorer.
So let's cut this shit out with the efficiency, right? Kobe wasn't that efficient of a scorer. So the average scoring of the 2000s was around 45%, right? Let me give you guys something real quick. So Kobe has the most points in the 2000s with 28.2 points per game, right? If you want to start in 2009 on down, Kobe averaged 26 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists on 47% field goal shooting. So the average was 44%, 45%. He shot 47%, right? 35% from the 3, 86% from the free throw line, right? Let's go to 2010, right? 27, 5, and 5, since they love stats so damn much. 46% from the field, right? 33% from 3, right? Above league average. Kobe Bryant, if you want to go to, let's go to the 2000s. 46.8%, about 47% from the field, right? Which is great for a guard, right? Especially during that era. Then we're looking at 2001, 28.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, 6 rebounds, 5 assists on 46% field goal percentage. Kobe in 2002. 25.2 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 47% from the field. 2003, 30 points per game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 45% from the field, 38% from 3. Right? Does that sound like somebody who's inefficient? So Chris Broussard is just saying this because of, like I said, they like to factor in Kobe's last 3 years that brought his percentage down, right? He's not being honest. This guy is being dishonest by calling Kobe inefficient. He knows the numbers. He knows the numbers. He's an asshole.
Both were great defenders, but I think overall, LeBron was a better defender. Kobe was a great individual, lock you up defender, but team defense had some question marks about.
So here he's trying to give credit to team defense, right? Team defense category would put LeBron closer to Larry Bird than defensively, if we factor in team defense. The greatest players of all time are great one-on-one defenders. This shit with the fucking help defense, Allen Iverson does a weak side help defense, right? That shit does not put you in the category of the greatest defenders of all time. Now, LeBron's a better defender than Allen Iverson. I'm not saying that for you assholes out there. I'm just saying, like, a lot of people are good team defenders. Curry's a good team defender. What the fuck does that shit mean, right?
That
I don't think it is worth spending time, at least a lot of time, on the fact that Rick Bucher just said he has Kobe Bryant ahead of LeBron James on his all-time list. Because it is just such an indefensible point. Like,
Indefensible.
the thing Kobe
So
did...
it's indefensible to put a man who was known as one of the top players in his league for over a decade, and a man that was winning when LeBron was in his prime. Not one, but 2 championships. A man who was accomplished before LeBron came into the league. A 5-time world champion. It's an insult. And a gold medalist, who, by the way, led the Team USA back to prominence, right? A 12-time. Now think about this, right? What does LeBron have? 6 NBA defensive first teams, or 6 defensive teams? Kobe has 12, but it's not worth the conversation. Look at this jackass smiling, but it's not worth the conversation. Rick Bucher is the only one up there being objective. And I guess the guy next to him, she's not really saying much, so I don't count that. But I guess Nick Wright and Chris Broussard are laughing. And I don't know why they would laugh at one of the greatest players of all time, one of the greatest scorers, and one of the greatest defenders of all time.
The best was score, and LeBron scores more. The thing
LeBron does not score more than Kobe. All right. So if you look at the averages between the times that Kobe and LeBron were in their primes, playing during the same era, Kobe averaged more points per game than LeBron. He also has more 40-point games, more 50-point games, more 60-point games. Right. He's not a better scorer than Kobe. Next.
Kobe theoretically is better than LeBron at his shooting, except LeBron has a better efficiency. Oh, Nick, that's on layups, except he also shoots a better 3-point percentage. The thing Kobe...
Again, they're slick, right? Because the younger generation will never compartmentalize these things, right? Break it down, right? This is what we call analyzing and breaking down the game. One is visual. We do certain tests, right? The eye test, the visual test. Then we look at the numbers, right? After we look at the eye test, right? The numbers show that Kobe Bryant was better in his prime. Now, they want to factor in the last 3 years. Like I said, this is how they beat Kobe, as they use the last 3 years where he wasn't as effective, and they use that against him.
The best was clutch shots, except LeBron has 5 playoff buzzer beaters, and Kobe has 1,
and those are situational, because Kobe wasn't in those positions to where he had to be in those positions to take those shots. So it didn't make no fucking sense. Like I said, the 2001 Lakers, if you go back and look at them, the series, the games weren't even close, right?
Disregards the fact that everything else to do with basketball, LeBron was better at it. Okay, well, I mean, again, so Wiles, You can shake your head at it because, again, you've been brainwashed by it.
Because he knows that you're lying, sir, and he's trying to be honest, man.
One, we've seen it on a loop for 20 years.
Nick is one of those guys you put in a cheap suit, and then he starts trying to call shots.
Kobe's one career playoff buzzer beater where he didn't pantomime the Michael celebration. LeBron's got 5. But I don't even want to debate Kobe versus LeBron because I don't think it's interesting. The Kobe versus
never mind.
Duncan thing I think is interesting because I think there's a real argument. And I have Duncan ahead of him. And I'm very...
Of course, and that's what I saw the last couple of videos I've been seeing this. They're using Duncan as a way to push Kobe back. It's not because they cared about Duncan. They don't give a fuck about Duncan. They probably didn't even watch Duncan's highlights, right? They care about putting Kobe as far back as they possibly can. And that's how they justify it.
I'm surprised that two guys who played in the same era and that Duncan, with a higher degree of difficulty, had never had a down year. 50 wins every single year of his career. The playoffs every single year of his career. The only year.
So Duncan is one of the all-time greatest winners in NBA history. That's a fact. But Duncan also played with other Hall of Famers. And Duncan also won because Patrick Ewing didn't play in a lockout shortened season, right? Not to take away from Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was phenomenal, but he wasn't tasked to carry the load Kobe carried after Shaq left. He just wasn't. Now, he did carry teams. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying he wasn't tasked to the degree Kobe was.
He didn't win 50 was when the season was 50 and he won the title.
By the way, Kobe beat Duncan more than any other superstar in the league, right? Kobe also has one of the highest scoring averages against the Spurs, right? This is without Shaq. Kobe's best player in the 2008 series was Pau Gasol, and Kobe was dominant over the Spurs. Pau Gasol only had averaged 13 points per game.
That you would argue that Kobe is ahead of Duncan. Like the LeBron thing, it's just, listen, we all have our blind spots.
And see, what he wants to do is he hides LeBron, right? It's like somebody coming up, like a guy beating his girlfriend. You hide his girlfriend behind you. So he's hiding LeBron behind Duncan. Like, this shit is crazy.
It's fine.
Duncan didn't have the supreme talent, particularly with Shaq, that Kobe had. Kobe was not even...
He wasn't out there by himself, sir. He had Sean Elliott and David Robinson. He had a pretty good team.
Shit, Rick. And that is a huge... He shot 44% for his career. He never shot 47% for a season.
Okay, so Duncan did not play well in the 2007 finals. They want to make it seem like Duncan played well every finals, right? Duncan had his shortcomings too. Like I said, Tony Parker was really the man on those later Spurs teams, right? Kobe literally won 5 championships by 2010. Duncan didn't win another one till 2014, right? He won in 03, 05, 07, and 2014. But he never won back-to-back.
And that's playing 8 years with Shaq, drawing double and triple teams in his prime.
In those 3 championship runs, those 3 NBA finals, they didn't need a closer because the game...
So that is partially true, right? This guy's a master manipulator. You know, if you want to know how they lie to you, how they manipulate you, is by giving you half-truths. You know why? Because you're more inclined to believe them, right? He knows what he's doing. He's a master of giving half-truths, right? So the thing is, they did not need Kobe, really, because those championships in the finals were a little bit separated, right? Because of the talent gap, because the Eastern Conference was weak, right? It was the weaker conference. The Western Conference Finals was really where the championship was won. But if you ask Nick here, who was the best player in the West until the finals? It was Kobe Bryant. He doesn't want to tell you guys that. And who was leading the league in fourth quarter clutch shooting? It was Kobe Bryant. The championship was won in the Western Conference Finals. The East was a fucking cakewalk.
Were not close, and the series were not close because Shaquille O'Neal, across those 3 NBA finals, averaged 36, 15, 4, and 3 on 60.
See, he's just reading stats, right? So everybody who watches basketball knows that in the Pacers series, Jalen Rose admits this, he purposely injured Kobe, right? Why? Because he said they couldn't handle Kobe Bryant. He was too much of a beast. So what did Jalen Rose do? He slid his foot right under Kobe Bryant's foot. The same tactic Bruce Bowen used that didn't stop Kobe, by the way. Kobe Bryant got injured during that series. That's why you see his numbers dip, right? The Lakers lost the very next game, Nick. So it wasn't a fucking cakewalk. The series was in jeopardy till Kobe hit the Jalen Rose, said to get down and lay down. That was to his teammates. Yeah. So Nick's a master at doing this.
I know Kobe Bryant is around top 10, but for me,
Now I actually have respect for Marcellus Wiley, man.
I think he's not top 10. Let's talk about it.
He's not top 10. It's
Kobe
ridiculous.
Bryant took a whole lot of shots. Let's talk efficiency first. Kobe Bryant took 26,200 shots to be exact. Just 10 fewer than Karl Malone, all right?
Okay, so now he's comparing Kobe to Karl Malone. Let's see what this
But
does.
Karl Malone scored 3,300 more points. Is Karl Malone top 10? Okay, let's keep
Okay, is Karl Malone the scorer that Kobe Bryant is? Is Karl Malone the defensive player that Kobe Bryant is? Does Karl Malone have the championships that Kobe Bryant has?
Of the top 10 players in scoring, Kobe Bryant is tied with Carmelo Anthony.
So now we're doing this. This is why Marcellus should stick to football, right? We're comparing Kobe to Carmelo now. Is this what we're fucking doing? How many NBA finals does Carmelo went to?
Worst shooting percentage. Carmelo Anthony top 10? Kobe is 32nd as a guard in career assists.
He also is the all-time leader for assists for a guard with 6,000. Right? He's the first guard to ever reach 6,000 assists, right? Try again, buddy.
And 5th in turnovers.
He's 5th in turnovers, probably because he gets the ball. He's a star player. Played 20 years.
See, the thing about Kobe Bryant that was
LeBron's
so
probably going to have the record in turnovers and missed shots. This is the funny shit about it. He has LeBron as the greatest player of all time, right? And no knock on LeBron, he might be. I'm not here for that, right? I'm not here to debate that. But he's knocking Kobe for the same thing LeBron's about to achieve. This shit's fucking, you can't make this shit up.
He was the closest facsimile to the greatest player of all time.
Now you see how disrespectful he was to the great Michael Jordan. He just to the greatest player, like as if Michael Jordan didn't earn that title, right?
Or what most people would say, right? So you're a carbon copy of the greatest. You certainly should hover around where he is, right? In the top 10. But when you start to dive into those details of how Kobe Bryant was able to climb his own hill, you start to see some inefficiencies. You start to see some things that would knock him if you want to talk about him as an aggregate.
And this is the media's go-to, the inefficient argument, right?
No shots at Kobe Bryant, who I think is around 11, maybe 12 for me comfortably. When he was by himself.
11.
It was 3 years, championships without Shaq and without Pau Gasol. How'd that go?
And this is what they do, right? So we never seen Magic Johnson win championships without Kareem. We never seen Kareem win a championship without Magic or Oscar, right? But we did see Kobe win without another top 75 player, which is Pau Gasol, right? We seen him go back to back, right? We seen this, right? So what those other guys accomplished, Kobe's accomplished with less.
Amazing for Kobe Bryant. How you going in terms of team success?
He had great team success. You go to 3 finals after Shaq and you win 2 when you weren't even supposed to win 1. I would say those are good numbers, sir. The logic is dumb, Marcellus. I like you, man. I like you out of all these guys, man. The logic is just stupid as hell, Marcellus. It don't make sense. He went to 3 finals and won 2 and only lost to an all-time great Celtics team. With what? 4 Hall of Famers? 4 future Hall of Famers?
Before his last year was called selfish by many.
By you guys. By the media.
Last year. Mamba mentality did a switch that last year. Did you watch Kobe Bryant all of a sudden signing sneakers while sitting on the sidelines during games? Kobe Bryant was deemed selfish.
So this is what we're judging a man on, signing sneakers on the side. Damn, these niggas don't like Kobe, bro.
Many. You name one. And then he did a pivot, he did a switch, he changed Mamba mentality from being just known as a narrative that was selfish as a mantra to one that meant, no, you're determined, you're dedicated, you're focused, respect. Girl dad came with that too, right?
Well, you guys focused in on him being a father. He got to be a father finally after his career, right? Which is what he had more time for that. He wasn't playing basketball any fucking more. So you got to see what kind of person he was. This criticism is ridiculous, bro.
Changed the persona of Kobe Bryant. That changed the legacy.
To you guys it did. To you guys it did. Because you guys want to see the lovable huggy moments. We as basketball fans don't give a fuck. We love Michael Jordan for ripping people's heads off.
Of Kobe Bryant. That changed how we looked at him and lens to the same performances that before we deemed selfish. Now, he still had a selfish performance. He scored, 60 points from 60 shots? Come on, big dog.
It was his last game.
You, Kobe.
Listen. Bro, it was his last game. So they gave him the ball. Those games were practically meaningless, right? They gave him the ball. People were there to see him, and he entertained, right? Now, was it a impactful game? Fuck no, we got our ass kicked, right? And I hated seeing Kobe go out like that, the way he went out. But he went out with a bang that last game.
Right. Kobe Bryant got a boosted legacy too in terms of how the persona of him from being selfish exclusively to just uber dedicated. Okay.
He was never selfish. He was always about the team. Now he did care about his individual legacy within that. I ain't gonna lie, right? He was on people's ass, right? But he did care about his team's, his ability to affect his team, and he constantly looked at ways to try and make his teammates better. Now, in the beginning, he kind of didn't really know how. His approach was wrong. You start approaching it differently later on. That's what you do as a person. You grow. When shit doesn't work, you change.
You believe that Kobe should have been higher on the list?
No, I do not. And I told, listen, God rest his soul, when Kobe was alive, he and I talked about this. I didn't even consider him top 5. I definitely considered him top 10, but not top 5. But here's the ultimate indictment. Anytime you think of Kobe Bryant, you think of Michael Jordan. And I came behind Michael Jordan. And
hey,
so as a result,
listen, y'all Michael Jordan fans right out there, right? Is that an insult? Or is that a high compliment? Anytime you think of, if any player in the history of the league, Stephen A. Smith said that about, isn't that the highest compliment? He's saying it as if it's to knock him. Like, this shit is crazy.
You have somebody that played his position that is clearly in front of him, and I think ultimately,
well, a lot of people, well, some people disagree with that, right? Some people think Kobe's better. Some people think that they got Mike 1A, Kobe 1B. Some people have Mike at 1, Kobe 2. Some people even have Kobe over Mike. So not everybody shares your sentiments, sir. And Michael Jordan, out of all the players, has the right to be called the greatest player of all time.
What will forever be held against Kobe Bryant was that he separated from Shaquille O'Neal.
So now they're mad because he left Shaq. Now, I want you to think about this, right? All these clips that I fucking showed you, right? And this is why I call this series Hellafide Cap. And I think I'm resting my case on this shit, right? They're knocking Kobe. Now he's knocking Kobe for playing with Shaq, right? But they're knocking Kobe for he's knocking Kobe for leaving Shaq right here. But don't they knock Kobe for playing with Shaq? But right here, they're knocking Kobe for leaving Shaq. You can't win. Listen, they already predetermined that Kobe's not going anywhere on the all-time list. They don't give a fuck what he accomplished. That he's not part of the agenda. He's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't, right? He leaves Shaq to prove his greatness to these clowns, and they still hold it against him. Now this fool is saying he should have stayed with Shaq. This shit is unbelievable.
That plays into it because instead of 5 titles, he might have had 7 or 8 titles had they stayed together.
And you would have never gave him credit for that. Y'all would have never gave him credit. You don't give him credit now.
And they say that comes into the equation as well. Sure, you proved that you could win without Shaq, but you could have been on the...
And that's what makes him great, sir. No other all-time player left their championship teams or got out of their championship situation and did what Kobe did by putting himself in another championship situation. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. This is Kobe Bryant Film Room, Hellafide Cap, Episode 2, featuring your boy Stephen A. Smith with the last cap.